I am live. That's what it says. You're live. I mean, I know I'm live. I mean, unless this is in fact the Matrix and I'm living in some alternate reality that we're all living in then, right? Then am I still live or am I like, you know, Copper Top reference to the Matrix? Am I laying in a machine of goo and this is all just some surreal fever dream to keep us compliant and producing energy? I don't know. It feels like it some days. People are the freaking worst. They just are. I had to deal with something today that I discovered it. I was like, wow, you are such a piece of shit. That's all I'm going to say. I just found it so people are the worst. They really are. Oh my. Anyway, I have pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff. I think it's because I wrote big. My hand was not feeling up for it, so I wrote in big letters. But yes, I have pages of stuff. So we'll get started. Episode 137, October. Excuse me, October the 15th. Whoa. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. October the 15th. Anyway, on this day, October the 15th, now remember, this does not go in a particular order. It jumps from decade to decade. It could be anywhere, just across the universe, as the Beatles said. Across the universe. So this one was I just put it in because I just found it to be kind of funny, as people are the worst. American pianist Henry Cowell sparks a riot. This is 1923. Sparks a riot among audience members due to his avant-garde piano playing style. Now, I was like, wait, I know what avant-garde means, don't I? So I went and looked up the definition just to be sure. I'm like, okay, right? So it's experimental kind of piano playing. I couldn't find out what it was, but he was playing avant-garde piano. Apparently, this happened in Gurdenhaus Concert Hall in Leipzig, Germany. Okay, so Germany in the 20s. Apparently, this American was playing avant-garde music, and some tried to physically stop him, running on stage to physically stop him from performing, while other audiences physically defended him. I guess... Why? Why would you try to physically stop from playing piano? Like, were you that offended that, oh my God, I need to stop you? Oh my God, we're just the worst species ever, aren't we? 1955. Now this one, I found two different accounts for it. So I don't know which one's right. The story stayed the same, but the bands were different. So we'll go with, I'll give you the option. You can choose which you choose to believe. A Nashville scout in 1955 named Eddie Crandall attending a concert for now either Bill Haley and the Comets or Elvis. One of the two, because one said Bill Haley and the Comets, the other one said Elvis. Was in Lubbock, Texas. Anyway, the talent scout was so impressed with the opening act, he offers the young singer a contract. Crandall misspells the singer's name, and Buddy Holly is born. I guess it was Buddyholley, but he omits the E, and Buddy Holly is born. But again, I found two different accounts of this. It was the same talent scout, same location, same date, but one was Elvis, one was Bill Haley Comets. So I don't know. We'll go with either or both. They were all there. Okay, it was a cavalcade of stars. 1973, Dolly Parton releases her single Jolene. Now, I found more information about this afterwards. I forgot to turn the heater off. So now the actual heater's on. You can hear the gas going. So the pump probably is going to make a pump noise. So if it does, sorry, we'll just stop and deal with it. It's one of those things, part of having the home studio. Anyway, Dolly Parton releases her single Jolene on this date in 1973. It's the title track for her forthcoming album. The song tops the chart at number 1, the country chart, obviously, in the US and Canada. Now, I found further information. Supposedly, it's written about a red-haired bank teller that flirted with her husband, her newly married husband, when they went to the bank. So it's about the bank teller, Jolene. That's what I read somewhere else. See, because I find these stories and I try and dig in a little bit more. And sometimes I find more information. Sometimes I find less information. Sometimes I find opposing information like Elvis or Bill Haley. I don't know. 1976, Ringo Starr releases the single A Dose of Rock and Roll. It fails to chart in the UK. Apparently they must have been done with Ringo at that point because nothing does not chart on the UK charts at all. It does peak in the US at number 26. I did not listen to it, so I don't know what it sounds like. Feel free to. A Dose of Rock and Roll. But did not chart in the UK. I find that to be interesting, that you're Ringo Starr, but you don't chart. Maybe it had something to do with him not wanting to get any more fan mail. That wasn't until the 2000s, but still. Maybe he's already a bit of a curmudgeon and they knew it. They were like, screw you, Ringo, you bastard. Serpentine, 1977. Serpentine Fire, the single by Earth, Wind and Fire, is released and becomes the Billboard Song of the Year for 1978. I listened to it. I was like, okay, I see that. It's interesting. Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life goes to number 1 and stays there for 10 weeks on this day in 1977. So that's You light up my life, you give me hope to carry on. I listened to that too because I was like, oh wait, I'm sure I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that. So yes, that was Debbie Boone. You light up my life. Thank you so much. I'll keep my talents to reading as opposed to singing. Is that what you're telling me? 1988, Amnesty International Human Rights Now concert. Come on, guess who was in attendance. You could probably guess. It was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Come on, ready? You know it. Bruce Springsteen, Sting, Peter Gabriel, Tracy Chapman. I'm like, what's making noises? It's the heater. I hear like clicky tick tick noises over here. See, that's the thing. Weird steam heat. It's always making strange noises. It sounds like the house is haunted. So it always makes like creaky, all sorts of like bangy, clunky, steamy noises that I'm always like, what is that? What is that? And I still am not used to it. Don't ask me. Okay. 1951, I Love Lucy. See, we jumped from 1988 to 1951. 1951, I Love Lucy. The TV show debuts on CBS. Now, I've used this. I used this because I had a problem when I was getting my license plate. So, my license plate, not this one, that's the radio station plate, but this one, KILTV. I've had that plate for decades, Kill TV. I got questioned about it when I had to go think it because they were going to deny it for me because, kill, you can't have that. I was like, no. And I explained the whole east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi, that west of the Mississippi is K and east of the Mississippi is W. I told them that I worked for, ready for this one, a television station in Tyler, Tyler Texas, because their call letters are KLTV. KLTV. So I've actually used that. It started on the air in 1954. But yes, I had to Google that ahead of time because I was warned that I was having a problem with renewing my license plate. So I was like, what? Mm-hmm. You know, they question everything. You know, oh, well, that seems like that's murderous. Well, I'm like, no. What? I'm not trying to kill TV. It's because I'm radio, and I've worked for this station that was east of the Mississippi and west of the Mississippi, and yes, I had to explain that whole thing to this woman who looked at me like with this very suspicious grin. I mean, she should have been suspicious. I was lying through my damn teeth, but I made it convincingly enough that she did grant my vanity plate. In 2000, Curb Your Enthusiasm debuts. I love that show. Larry David is such a jackass. You have to love him. Oh, I found this to be hilarious. 1993. Up. Yes, you probably hear that. That's the heater. If I didn't explain it, I have steam heat, and the steam rises, goes through the radiators, and then it falls back down and condenses in this steel box with a motor on it that pumps it back into the boiler. So once it starts, it'll go up a few more times. Sorry. I will try and remember to turn it off when I start. I just don't want to leave in the middle and walk upstairs. There's an emergency shut-off switch and everything else. So suck it up. I found this to be amusing. 1993, a Fox late-night talk show starring Chevy Chase as the host was canceled on this day. It lasted 5 weeks. I mean, wow. Chevy, you were that much of a jackass? Your talk show lasted 5 weeks? I mean, okay. Hopefully they had a contract for you. 1956. Okay, so we jump from 2000 right back to 1956. 1956, Little Richard records Good Golly Miss Molly at J&M Studios in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, it is rumored that Little Richard, heard the phrase Good Golly Miss Molly from a Southern DJ, Jimmy Pentrick. Didn't know who Jimmy Pentrick was. I looked. Little Richard modified the expression to fit the lyrics to make it more suggestive. The lyric is, Good golly, Miss Molly, you sure like to ball. I was like, is that really the lyric? Yeah, you sure like to ball. That is definitely suggestive. Because if you Google the slang of you sure like to ball, well, it's a euphemism for sex. So, so you sure like to have sex. Good golly, Miss Molly, you sure like to have sex. All right. Well, there you go. Little Richard, 1956, he's making that happen. Where were the censors? I mean, come on, they censored more stuff. Where was the PMRC? Where was our whole moral and ethics conglomerate to slap us down? 1960, the Almost Beatles, minus Pete Best, and 2 members of the Rory Storm Hurricanes, which was Ringo Starr and Lou Walters, record Summertime by George Gershwin. The track was cut into a 78 RPM album, and this marked the first time and the first recording session that all 4 Beatles were attendants in. John, Paul, George, and Ringo all performed together. There was other musicians there, but this was the first time, October 15th, 1960, that the Beatles actually performed together as a group. There you go. Ta-da, Beatless. Mr. Jimi Hendrix. signed his. Now this is screwed, man. Like, wow, did you really sign this? I mean, I don't know. This just seems. I tried to find more information, but Jimi Hendrix signed his first recording contract on October 15th, 1965. Okay, the 3-year deal, right? This was PPX Productions. Whoever these guys were, wow, you were either great negotiators or complete assholes. I'm thinking the latter. Anyway, they gave Hendrix $1, $1 plus 1% of all royalties on all of his music. It said the deal caused major legals in the years to follow. Well, yeah, of course it did. How the hell? I mean, there's no way you get 1%. I'm keeping 99% of everything you do ever, and here's your dollar. Shut up. Whoa. I could see that causing legal issues at some point. Like, that just seems ridiculous. Like, the fluke, people. I don't know. 1966, Pink Floyd played for $25 at a gig alongside, okay, don't know these bands, The Move, Denny Lane, not Penny Lane, but Denny Lane, Soft Machine, Yoko Ono, and a West Indian steel band. This was to launch the first and longest running hippie magazine, International Times. I guess it ran for a long time. This was post, obviously, because it was 1966. Oh, crapo. I didn't even see that one. Damn it. Man, I am way, way off. I was not paying enough attention. Sorry. I even had that on. Way not paying attention. Thought I was. Anyway, Paul McCartney was in attendance. It said, dressed in Arabian dress. Because it was a hippie event. Dressed in Arabian events. The flyer said, bring your own poison, bring flowers, bring gas-filled balloons. So I didn't know if it's like helium or like whippets. If it's hippies, I'm thinking maybe like gas. It was GASS, gas-filled balloons. So I don't think that meant like bring, la la la. But I think they're making like bring whippets, bring your poison. So I think they were again referring to whatever your poison of choice would be: alcohol, pot, drugs, whatever. Bring your gas-filled balloons. So yeah, so this was a party, and this was for a hippie magazine launch. We'll have to launch a hippie magazine. I mean, are there really even hippies anymore? You damn hippies. 1966, the Four Tops started a 2-week #1 run in the U.S. with Reach Out and I'll Be There. I don't know if that's a song. I'll be there. Do that. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't listen. I could Google that, I guess. It was the group's second U.S. #1, and it's their first UK #1, becoming Motown's second UK #1, only after the Supremes' #1, Baby Love, late in 1964. So Motown, this is only the second time Motown Records had a #1. But yeah, I don't know if that's what that song is, but I think it was Reach Out and I'll Be There. Reach out, I'll be there. Yeah, I think that has to be it. I did not listen to that one. I think that's when I fell down the Oasis rabbit hole. I ran into the Liam Gallagher Shockwave song and then just kind of like went off left and was listening to the Stone Roses. God, I forget how good the Stone Roses are. If you like the Stone Roses, or if you've never heard of the Stone Roses, put them on. Listen to the Stone Roses, like the best of. Man, they've got a lot of really good songs. I was kind of like, hell yeah. I was like, dig the Stone Roses. Now this one was just like, what? But I just had to do it because, okay, 1972, the band named Lieutenant Pigeon. Can't make this shit up. Lieutenant Pigeon was #1 on the UK singles chart with Muddy or Moldy Old Dough, like D-O-U-G-H, like bread, Moldy Old Dough, by Lieutenant Pigeon. This was #1. The keyboardist had his mom help play on piano, of course, making it the first and only mother-son #1 in the UK. I did listen to the song. There was not really a lot of lyrics. It was kind of a little quirky and weird, and I'm not sure how it became #1, but it did. So, yeah, I was just like, interesting. Again, some of this stuff just baffles me as to how it gets to be #1, but that's just me. 1973, Keith Richards. A lot of bad boys today. Keith Richards was found guilty of trafficking cannabis. Devil's lettuce, the Mary Jane, Mary J-Wana, weed, pot, trafficking it. Trafficking. Keith, the hell. This was by a court in Nice, France, no less. I mean, I know there's, in fact, there's definitely statute of limitations. So I am, in fact, an international smuggler, but that was a long time ago. And I'm sure the statute of limitation is passed. But anyway, trafficking cannabis. The Rolling Stone was given 1 year suspended sentence, fined $5,000, and he was banned from entering France for 2 years. I mean, is that a horrible fine? I'm banned from France unless you want a fresh croissant or something. I don't know. I mean, just being banned from France. All right. Because he couldn't tour there for 2 years, but I don't know. If I got banned from France for 2 years, I'd probably be sad, but I'm not traveling to France all the time unless it's, where my second home is, which it's not. 1973, October the 15th. Elvis, having experienced respiratory issues for 4 days, went and checked in and was admitted to Memphis Baptist Memorial Hospital for 2 weeks. It was found that Elvis had pneumonia. While he was there, under the doctor's care, his physician, he had his own physician, found out that Elvis, in fact, was addicted to Demerol. I guess, if you're isolated from your normal routine for, days, it becomes longer than days. Suddenly it becomes obvious if you're a junkie, because Demerol is a pretty strong narcotic, that you'd probably start having withdrawals and everything else and have to probably tell somebody, or at some point someone's going to notice the fact that you're climbing the walls because you're having withdrawals. And you probably have to be like, it's Demerol. Elvis. But he still lived many more years, right? I mean, I don't know when he died. I forget. Was it 77? 4 more years? I mean, that doesn't help that if you're, on Demerol. Or was it 87? 97? I don't remember. So, sorry. Short-term memory. What do you expect? It's the Demerol. 1988, Bon Jovi started a 4-week #1 run with his 4th LP, New Jersey. It produced 5 Billboard Top 10 songs, and it is the most top 10 songs ever derived from a hard rock album. That's what it says, to date. Hard rock album. I mean, I never considered Bon Jovi hard rock, but I guess it is. I guess I'm thinking metal more. But this is me. Also, on this date in 1988, UB40 went to #1 in the U.S. on their singles chart with Neil Diamond's hit, Red Red Wine. It was also #1 in the UK. And it's a good song. I mean, like I said, I just saw them sing that on the beach. No better place to see UB40 than on the beach. Probably one of the best beach concerts I've ever seen. Not that I've seen a ton of beach concerts, but it was a beach concert day, so it was good. 1985, Paul and Linda McCartney were guest voices on The Simpsons. The episode was Lisa's a Vegetarian. The max request from the producer is that this becomes a permanent change in Lisa Simpson's character on the show forever. And they will acquiesce and be the guests if, in fact, it is done where Lisa Simpson becomes a vegetarian for all times after this episode as the cartoon. Okay, David Merkin says, and he agrees to doing that and changes the character of Lisa Simpson to a vegetarian for all times to appease the McCartneys. I mean, okay, why not, right? That was the stipulation. You know, make her a vegetarian for all times and we'll do it. Fair enough, right? I mean, I don't think that hurt her character. She was kind of Lisa Simpson-y. I could see her being a vegetarian, right? I mean, I've had some really good vegetarian foods. I remember a long time ago, my friend, he was from California, he made a vegetarian lasagna with like eggplant. It was the best. It was so good. I don't even think there was even cheese in it. Only maybe there was cheese. But it wasn't meat. It was eggplant, and it was so delicious. I would do that again. I had tofu the other night. It was really good, too. It was a spicy something with purple rice. I'd never seen purple rice before. It was awesome. It was so purple. It was tofu and fried tofu, little squares with purple rice. Purple rice. You have to look at purple rice. It was really cool because it was just, again, it was so purple. I was like, you're the purplest rice I've ever seen because I've never seen purple rice. 1996, speaking of bad boys, Tommy Lee, Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee. I will have to remember to turn that off. Motley Crue's Tommy Lee was sentenced to 4 months in prison. This all stemmed from an incident outside an LA nightclub when a photographer was attempting to take photographs of Tommy Lee and then wife Pamela Anderson. He allegedly attacked said cameraman. It must have been less than allegedly because he pleaded no contest and then was sentenced to 4 months in jail. So apparently that was a non-admission of an admission of guilt. I didn't really do it, but I'm not going to contest it. The no contest plea is, I'm not guilty, but I can't say I didn't do it. 1997, Michael Jackson. He played his last date on his Tory tour. H-I-S, giant letters, Tory. His Tory tour. I don't know, it seems a little. Anyway, this is up at Kings Park Rugby Stadium in Durban, South Africa. On this tour, during the tour, Michael Jackson performed 82 concerts, 54 cities, 5 continents, 35 countries for 4.5 million fans. That's a pretty grueling schedule, I would think. It didn't say how long it took, but that's probably pretty grueling. You know, that's probably a 4 or 5 month event, 5 months on the road. I mean, I'm sure he made money. That's what his ranch he bought, Neverland Ranch and all the other nonsense of Michael Jackson. 2000, Kid A, the album by Radiohead, reached number 1 on the U.S. album chart. It was their 4th LP. It was also Radiohead's first debut number 1 in the U.S. So basically it popped right on the charts. Boom, number 1, out, done. By then I think people knew who they were. Before that they didn't. That's the problem. 2000, same date, U2 went to number 1 in the UK singles chart. This Beautiful Day single was the group's 4th UK number 1 single. It was from the LP All That You Can't Leave Behind. All That You Can't Leave Behind. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. So that was their number 1. This one I found unfortunate. 2003, Mike Smith, lead singer of the Dave Clark Five, apparently falls in his home in Spain. The fall results in him being paralyzed from the waist down. Yeesh. Smith died February 28th in 2008, basically. February 28th, before Leap Day. Less than 2 weeks before the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's kind of sad, a little, you know, you might get inducted and you die. I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad about that a little bit. Just saying. Now, this one was like, I thought it was the Sugar Cubes at first. I was like, wait, the Sugar Cubes? No, it's not the Sugar Cubes. The Sugar Babes. I was like, well, Sugar Babes? What? So 2006, the Sugar Babes were the most successful all-female act of the 21st century, according to new figures, since charts debuted in 2000. I was like, what? They scored 16 hits, beating the likes of Britney, and even Madonna. The trio's first made U.S. chart history, or UK chart history, in 2002, when Freak Like Me hit the charts, making them the youngest female group ever to do so. So I listened to the Freaks Like Me. It wasn't a bad song. I was like, okay, I could do that. But I was trying to figure out, I'm like, wait a second. So how would they beat Britney and Madonna? Well, I think it's because it started in 2000, because of the 21st century. So because Madonna and Britney, I think, had more, but they were before 2000, they didn't transfer over. I think that's how it happened. Because otherwise I was like, that didn't make sense to me. I was like, what? But yeah, I guess 16 chart hits doesn't mean chart toppers, not number one, but mean they're on the chart. So, you know, you can be 99 in the top 100 and still be on the chart. But yeah, Sugar Babes, not Sugar Cubes. Because at first I was like, the Sugar Cubes. I'm like, what? It's like I've been like not paying attention. I mean, that was Bjork, you know, the Sugar Cubes. Anyway, speaking of Britney, 2007, she stopped by a Los Angeles police department to be photographed and fingerprinted, as so ordered by a Los Angeles judge. She spent about 30 minutes at the precinct following the procedures to, in fact, get fingerprinted and her mugshot taken. This all stemmed from the hit-and-run accident a month earlier that occurred when Britney crashed into a car and then fled the scene with lots of witnesses. I mean, it's Britney Spears. How you can't just, wait, isn't that Britney Spears driving away from that wreck? I mean, but it stemmed from her hit-and-run fleeing accident in September of 2007, where she allegedly crashed into a car, but she didn't have a driver's license. So that was also the problem. She did not have one. So it wasn't like it was suspended. She just didn't have a driver's license. You know, you're Britney, so you don't get a driver's. I just drive when I want to drive. What do you mean a driver's license? Do I need one of those? That's not how that works, is it? I'm Britney. I do what I want. Because I'm toxic. No. Didn't work out for that way. 2008, Bon Jovi, speaking of, became the latest musician to disapprove of a presidential candidate using his music for their use. Basically, it said that the song was "Who Said He Can't Go Home." That's why I was like, what am I reading? The song was "Who Said He Can't Go Home," but it was following suit of Foo Fighters, Heart, and Jackson Browne, who all previously told John McCain to cease using their music. That happens. And Madonna was banned from Alamo movie theaters on October 15th in 2013. I was like, how the hell do you get banned from a movie theater? And where the hell's Alamo movie theaters? I looked it up. You'll see why. So Madonna was banned from Alamo movie theaters after being accused of texting during a movie. Now, it doesn't seem like that's horrible, but it was during the New York City Film Festival, and it was during the showing of 12 Years a Slave. So it was this is a pretty powerful movie, and I guess she was texting. So the 55-year-old singer was told by audience members to please stop texting, and I guess she blew them off and was scolded for such. The CEO, Tim League of Alamo, posted, "She has to apologize, and until she does so, she is banned from all movies in Alamo theaters." I tried to find if she gave a crap about that or not. I'm a feeling that Madonna was like, whatever, man. I can go watch them somewhere else. That's just me. U2. Bono said he was sorry. This is 2014. I was like, what were you sorry for? And then it took about a second to go, oh, I know exactly what it's for. Bono said he's sorry, and he apologized for their latest album being automatically downloaded to people's iTunes accounts. I remember that. Basically, audience members around the world were upset that this occurred. Bono said it was a touch of megalomania and a touch of generosity. I'm going to go with the megalomania part. I don't know about the generosity. We're giving you free music. No, you're trying to get something out of that. No one's doing that. You're not giving it away for free. Anyway, iTunes users complained. I remember that explicitly because everyone's like, what the hell, man? Why did everyone get this? They complained about the unauthorized tracks, 11 tracks of Songs of Innocence being added without their permission. And the other thing was they were very hostile about not being able to get it off. There weren't easy instructions of how to delete it. So it's kind of like, every time my phone updates, it's like, okay, you have, Jailbreak and Angry Birds and this and this. And I'm like, what? I don't want to update my computer. No, stop this. That happened before. My computer updated. Like all the computers must be updated. And there must be something that's sent out because my phone's updated, my computer updated. Like it's trying to do something now. Stop this. No, I don't want to update anything. Jesus. The flock. But yes, they didn't make it very easy to delete. Because every time my phones will update, I don't know if yours do it. I have Android, so I'm not an iPhone person. I wind up getting 4 different, you've got Breakout and you've got Angry Birds and this. I'm just like, I don't want any of these games on my phone. They take up memory space. So I wind up having to delete them. But it's, why do you do that? But it's very easy. It just says uninstall, so uninstall it. But you couldn't just uninstall the U2 album. So people were like, the bar, man, come on. 2021, Elton John achieves his first #1 in 16 years. 16 years without a #1 song in 2021. It's pretty good. He does it with a duet with Dua Lipa. Yeah, sorry. Yep, that's. I just have to remember to turn it off. It's because the heat runs, like I said, the water condenses, it pumps it back in. It's going to be annoying. I'll have to remember. I made a note. I actually did. I just keep the notes down here. So by the time I come down here, I'm like, oh, wait, I need to. It won't be that many times. Yeah, it was like 3 already tonight. Anyway, so he collabs with Dua Lipa. Cold Heart, I believe, is the name of the song. And it rose to #1 in the UK singles chart. And it was only on the 5th week of it as well. So it was the 5th week of it in the top 10 and boop, bumped up to #1. So good old Elton John. And then Fender guitars in 2018. I found this to be really funny. Not funny, haha, but like funny, interesting. Okay, that's funny. Fender guitars performed a study on their sales. And it showed that women accounted for 50% of all of their beginner and aspirational players. that a huge portion of their guitar sales were going to women. They said that guitar sales were rising as more young women picked up the axe, and also that 72% did so to gain a life skill or improve themselves. They did say that it was because of a lot more positive influences of female role models in the music industry. So that's good, right? They did mention Taylor Swift, but I just decided to not put that in there. I didn't know, does she play guitar? I've not really paid attention. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. That's that. Now, when it comes to births and deaths, there was very few. We have that at times. Let's see. So the only births I found were Mark Leonard, and which is Spock's dad. Mark Leonard, and he was Leonard Nimoy. They're not related in any way, shape, or form, but I just think that's kind of funny that on the show, he was the Vulcan that was Spock's dad. And I just found it interesting that Leonard Nimoy and he was Mark Leonard. Spelled differently, but still. Penny Marshall of Laverne and Shirley. Laverne, born this day. Tito Jackson of the Jackson 5. And Richard Carpenter of the Carpenters, born on this day. That was about it. I didn't find a lot of other people that were born this day. And as far as people that died on this day, Cole Porter, Frank DeCova, which I was like, Frank DeCova, he was Chief Wild Eagle on F Troop. So clearly he was not actually Native American because he was Frank DeCova. So that's just kind of, it's what it is. And died in 23 was Suzanne Summers of Three's Company and the Thigh Master commercials. Come on, knock on our door. Anyway, that was the deaths. There wasn't a lot. So that's good, right? We didn't have a lot of people dying. We're glad of that. I mean, death takes a holiday. And then tomorrow it'll be this long slew of people. I don't know. But yes, people are the worst. I just will reiterate that fact that people are the absolute freaking worst. So I saw just discovered a horrible, horrible person today that I know. They're still horrible. Such is life. Anyway, all right, so I took up lots of your time. I'm going to go hit the couch, maybe watch a little TV and go to bed because I'm tired. It was a long day. Did lots and lots of ladder climbing and lots of work today. So I will bid you a fond and farewell. Adieu. Hey, all that stuff. Oh, yeah, remember there's this guy, him, right? That guy too. So, yes, I promise at some point I will put something on there. I will. I just haven't gotten there yet. I will, I promise. Okay? It's been busy. Life is busy. I don't find a lot of free time. It happens. Oh, and the auction. I didn't get the URL today. I mean, I did, but I just didn't put it up. But I will. See? I'm just distracted. That's the way it works. C'est la vie. Fade to black. Thank you. Fade to black. I see a red door and I want it.